Welcome to Channel 69 News, working for both of us. Tonight's top story: a local man has a warrant out for his arrest after several witnesses claimed he offered them several versions of what are being described as the worst trade offers of all time. One such witness, a self-described virgin who loves planes, spoke to our camera crew. Here's what he had to say. All right, can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, so this guy, I'm just walking along, and this guy jumps out of the bushes over there, and out of nowhere just offers me Kyler Murray and a seventh for Javonte Williams and a wide receiver. And obviously I said no, and then he just like punches a pillow and takes off. I didn't even see the pillow at first.
Can you tell us what this man looked like?
Yeah, so he was short, obviously, dark hair, a little bit of a belly, and he was wearing this ring that definitely didn't belong to him.
Is there anything else you'd like the people to know about him?
Yeah, as he was running away, I heard him yell something about Mike Evans for a running back. This dude seems like a danger to all of your fantasy rosters.
That was our esteemed local reporter, Michael Roch. Thanks, Mike. You always seem to find the weirdest individuals to interview. We'll all be keeping an eye out for this vicious man that many are referring to as Gordy Pants. I'm now touching my fictional earpiece and being told that we have an exclusive piece from the league scoring leader and proud small penis haver, Sam. Are you there, Sam?
The prime rib roast minister visited Washington today, and my tiny little nipples went to France. All right. Breaking news. News Channel 69 has just been informed that the idiot commissioner for the League of Extraordinary Genitals is currently sitting at 8th in scoring and 9th overall in the league standings. This revelation comes as a shock to no one but the commissioner himself, considering he never shuts the fuck up about how good at fantasy he is. And yet he finds himself struggling to break even 100 points this season. Sources around the league have confirmed that concerns are mounting about the potential for the commissioner's first ever Sacco game appearance and possibly his first ever Sacco title. Personally, and I say this with the caveat that my views, of course, do not represent those of News Channel 69, but I'm not certain his tiny little asshole could handle that. More at 11.
I think we need to cut. Can we cut to the power rankings or something?
Oh, don't worry, guys. There will be another one of you soon.
Oh shit! Yeah, yes, power rankings. Yes, of course we could talk about those. Shit. Number 10, Eli, down one spot from last week. Yes, I belong at the bottom, of course, especially after what you just saw. Jamar Chase has no quarterback. Derrick Henry also has no quarterback. Jordan Addison has no quarterback. Ricky Pearsall is hurt and has no quarterback. There seems to be a pattern here. It is very hard to score fantasy points when a team's quarterback isn't playing. I've got some good names on my roster, just not a lot of production. Scoring the most in the league in week 1 seems like an absolute lifetime ago. I've got to make some moves soon or I'm going to be in trouble. At number 9, down 3 spots from last week, is Kevin. Kevin, you're last in scoring. You're last in the standings. If George Kittle were healthy, that would, I think, make a little bit of a difference in my mind for sure. I just don't really believe in Darren Waller, or Keon Coleman right now. Your running backs are thin as hell. Though, I will fully acknowledge that you've really got something with Quinshon Judkins. He's been really good the last couple of weeks. There's not a lot to be super excited about with this roster right now, although your quarterback is going to have an absolute fields day with the Cowboys this weekend. And number 8, down 2 spots from last week, is Dan. Dan, I'm still not putting you 9th. Go fuck yourself. You have no Drake London or CeeDee Lamb this week, but going forward, you've got a pretty deep wide receiver room and butthole. Some might say you could trade one of them. Like, I don't know, maybe there's a wide receiver needy team who's like maybe willing to send you a starting NFL running back for one of them. I don't know who that might be, of course, but someone might. Also, for the record, fuck Drake May, but he's got basically the easiest schedule that a quarterback could possibly have over the next, 9 weeks or so. Looks like he may continue to be a top 10 guy for the foreseeable future. At number 7, yes, these puns are going to continue. At number 7, up 1 spot from last week, is Grant. By the way, texting me and reminding me that you're 3rd in scoring and saying keep that in mind when you're making the power rankings, and not thinking that it's just going to make me put you lower out of spite seems a little silly. Haven't you been paying attention to what I've been doing with Dan's rank every single week? I don't care that you're 3rd in scoring. I don't think this team is very good. Now, I need to acknowledge that scoring points with several major injuries is definitely a good thing, of course. Mike Evans, Aaron Jones, etc. But I'm looking forward to the future. And from what I can tell, it's not very bright, although Jalen is probably going to waddle into multiple touchdowns against the Panthers this weekend. At number 6, down 2 spots from last week, is Scott. Neighbors went down, which is really actually heartbreaking. Metcalf and Jalen Warren are on a bye. Chuba Hubbard is hurt and hasn't scored a rushing touchdown this year, by the way. And A.J. Brown is wide receiver 52 in fantasy. It is not looking great for the squad right now. I'm not saying you should panic, but if this trend keeps up, it may be time to make some moves soon. You don't want to get to the end of the season and have to Diggs your way out of a sacco. At number 5, Patrick, in the same spot as every other week. Something finally did happen in the top 4 ahead of you. Scott lost Neighbors and he had to move down. But your Packers are on a bye. Chase Brown has absolutely nowhere to run in a putrid Bengals offense. You've got some wide receivers that can make a big play any week. Plus, Hurts is a borderline lock to get you 10 points just with his legs. So again, this is a high floor team, but it lacks a bit of upside. Some might say you're Hurtsing for upside. That one's a bit of a stretch. Don't worry about it. At number 4, up 3 spots from last week, is Tim. Tim has risen 5 spots in the last 2 weeks combined. Omarion Hampton and Cam Skeet Boob definitely took advantage of the injuries in their backfields, and combined now for 33.5 points last week. Plus, Ashton Genty matched that total almost by himself. You've got a solid wide receiver core, the best fantasy quarterback alive right now, and this team is looking increasingly dangerous. Could this be the year that Tim finally gets his golden ticket back to the championship matchup? At number 3, down 1 spot from last week, is Jason. Jason is currently suffering from a condition called getting a shitload of points scored against him, itis. While scoring a respectable 108 per game, his opponents are scoring around 119 a game. Notably, I'm getting scored on at like a rate of 118 a game, but my team sucks, so I can't complain. Jason has every right to complain. He also has more top 10 players at their position on his starting roster than almost anyone else this week. Well, actually, than anyone else this week. Scott and Patrick each have 2. Tim and Kevin have 3 apiece. Grant, Chris, Dan, and Sam all have 4. Jason has 8 players in his starting roster of 10 players that are all in the top 10 at their position. I don't think it's time to panic, obviously. Things will almost certainly turn around. But if they don't, Jason will likely have to burrow his head under the sand after another year of no championship. At number 2, in the same spot as last week, is Chris. It is so weird to me watching Quentin Johnston and George Pickens actually be good. They've definitely shown flashes in the past. Sure, a lot of like athletic freakness and making sideline catches and stuff, but like seeing them actually like put it all together in the same season as one another, no less, is really throwing me for a loop. Not a helix, Grant, an actual fucking loop. But again, Chris just seems to find a way to win, and he's doing a lot of it. Even with Lamar out, this is a scary team and should be on the swift track to winning a lot more this year. And at number 1, of course, is Sam, same spot as last week. This team just can't stop scoring touchdowns. Cook and Puka are both number 1 at their positions and are showing no sign of slowing down. Even with Barkley having a seemingly mediocre season, he's still getting Sam 12 points a game. Odunze is playing out of his mind right now, and then Rashee Rice is just a couple weeks away from his return into what actually might be kind of a high-powered Chiefs offense again. I say hopefully, very hopefully. Anyway, this team is really good, especially as long as the Bills continue to let James cook. All right, let's talk about the upcoming matchups. I'm against Patrick this week. If there's ever a time that I can actually pull an upset, it is this week. This should be, weirdly a fairly even matchup. Patrick is missing Jacobs and Kraft, though I'm missing the ability for my players to score points, so it's anyone's game, really. Next one is Chris against Scott. And as I was looking at y'all's matchup, I'm imagining your team logos in the same room as each other. One is Trump, one is Travis Kelce, and Trump is just being Taylor Swift is old and washed up and no one cares at all. And then Travis Kelce is just whoa. There's only one of us in this couple that fits that description. It's for sure me. And then Trump being wow, Travis Kelce, what a loser. And then Chris beats Scott by 30 points. Anyway, next matchup, Sam against Kevin. Sam has scored in the top 3 all 4 weeks so far this season. That probably won't change this week. Good luck, Kevin. You're really going to need it. Although, you do have some very favorable matchups, so you still might be able to squeak out some good standings points. Next, we have Jason against Grant, and this feels like a get-right week for Jason. Grant has been punching well above his weight class, and now Jason's going to hang 140 on him. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Grant didn't break 90 this week as well. Whatever the spread is, I'm probably taking Jason. And lastly, we have Tim against Dan. The Survivor buddies are facing off, and I don't think it's going to be particularly close. Dan is missing CeeDee Lamb and Drake London, and Tim should take full advantage of Dan in his vulnerable state, something that Tim is probably very used to. Anyway, that'll do it for this week's recap. Good luck to everyone except Patrick, and go fuck yourselves. Sir, can you tell us what happened?
Come on, England.
No.